Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kastuba. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Come on!
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator of the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastuba Das. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam. Welcome to Wednesday. Had a great day yesterday, great evening. I got to give a shout out to Miss Mara. She made a wonderful birthday dinner yesterday for my daughter. And all the kids came home. My son came home. He brought his friend from Alachua. And my older son came over with his girlfriend, and then Maya was here. It was our house is turning into a sort of a teenage reality show. And we had a cookout outside in the Magic Garden, the stone-walled garden. Stu, we're gonna have a cookout for you.
Oh, okay.
Mara's frying up various eggplants and zucchinis.
Not frying.
Grilling.
It was fun though. Everybody helped out. That's what was nice.
Everyone helped out.
Yeah.
Building
Was
fires.
grilling part of your thing when you were a
grilling.
caterer? Were you grilling at that time?
When I was a kid?
Caterer.
Oh, yes. We used to grill every single weekend. I actually haven't
that?
grilled for years because of that.
You're a very good griller. You're a very good griller.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then she made this incredibly delicious vegan strawberry shortcake. Incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sachi's request for her birthday.
Yeah. I had a good.
Actually, that may play into our theme today, because a lot of times it's like we think, oh, it's the men that work the grill, right?
Yeah.
But no,
ladies can work grills too.
Ladies can work
That's a
the
good
grill.
takeaway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and my daughter, for her birthday, we just went for a motorcycle ride together. I got her some motorcycle sneakers she wanted.
Okay.
And that was fun. Yeah, we had a great day yesterday. It was a really nice day. House filled with tons of kids.
Well, we have Rocco back home too.
Yeah, my son's
Great.
back home. It's really wonderful.
Good for you.
Yeah. How are you?
Pretty good.
Well, all right then. All right then. If you're listening to the podcast, welcome. Welcome aboard. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. If you want to join us live, you can do that on Zoom. Every morning we got a big batch of Zoom people. There's a much bigger batch that listen to us out there as, quote, others. Those are the others are people we never meet in person necessarily. They're just sort of out there listening to podcasts. We wonder about them. And every now and then people come up and say, I listen every day. And they're out there, the others. But here are the Zoomers. And if you want to be a Zoomer, you just have to email Miss Mara, wisdomofthesages108@gmail.com. And she gives you the secret codes to enter into our little coven. And then you can join us every morning. We change the times occasionally. Lately, we've been doing it at 7 a.m. Some people love it. Some people hate it. But that's when we've been doing it. So there. We start the podcast with some updates, some news. And we're going to go to Miss Mara right now.
We have Back to Recovery group meetings today at 1 and 9:30 a.m.
Mm.
Also, since you're talking about changing the time of the show, we also have a WhatsApp channel now if people want to subscribe, where we send out updates for the show times.
And this is all reminding me that hopefully by the end of this month, we're going to move over to the Circle platform. All right.
And that's going to happen. We'll have somebody explain it because I don't even
Yeah,
get it quite yet. But everything's on one thing, right? The sage groups, I think.
I think the sage groups could be on that. The show itself could be on that, not on Zoom anymore. That we'd all come there. That, is kind of like the website, the discussion groups, like the Discord thread would be there instead. Like everything would be in one place.
And people are just, we have some great people who are just very sweetly volunteering their skill and time setting this whole thing up.
Yeah.
Because me and Kostuba cannot figure it out.
And this has been like months of service.
There's
like a whole team behind it. It's really an impressive new platform.
Yeah. So we'll actually, the plan is that we will move off of Patreon and shift everybody over. And actually, not only will it be like everything's in one place, and like the thing that you just mentioned, the calendar and all that, the calendar would be there, and everything you need is in that one place. But that we begin to offer a lot more too. Like it'll open up the spaces that we can conveniently offer. And when you go there, we have over. What? Why are you laughing? I'm not offering.
I'm trying to think of what to call them now. Because you
What?
can't call them Zoomers anymore once they get on Circle.
Yeah.
So I was like, circle, round,
Circles.
ball. We'll call them ballers.
Yeah, it'll be like when you go to Patreon now, it's just like this long list where we have over 500 classes already like in an archive, but you can't really access them on Patreon.
No.
It'll be easy to see, we got all kind of seminars and classes that we've already done, and I think we're going to be inclined to offer more regularly because it'll be such a convenient place to kind of get together.
Well,
So,
if you like Sweet Baby Krishnas, the classes
Timothy
I
Tucker.
give, there's like 100 Sweet Baby Krishnas.
It can be called the inner circle.
Ooh, the inner circle. You don't like ballers?
I think inner circle might be better.
That might be a little bit more appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay. Inner circle. That's good. Okay, so that's that. And Italy. Shout out for Italy. wisdomofthesages.com/events. You want to go. We're going to wind up our registration very soon. So if you're thinking about getting away, breaking away, hanging out with us, and special guest Jiva G is coming to do Bhakti Recovery live. So if you truthfully, it's Italy, it's Tuscany, it's great food, it's beautiful sights, it's sweet kirtan. So many people are like, that Bhakti Recovery group was the highlight. And people, and it was always people who were like, well, I don't need recovery. I'm not into drugs or alcohol or sex addiction or whatever. They go to it and they're like, wow, I needed this so much. They go in sort of like the eavesdrop, and next thing you know, they're completely all in waving the flag. So, people should check that out while they're there, or it's just an added bonus if you want to go. People get a lot of benefit out of the deep diving into their psyche, into their shortcomings in desires to grow and evolve.
Corners of their psyche.
Yeah, the darkness. I want to go into the darkness of your psyche, Mr. Kostuba.
You have ways of bringing it out, Raghunath.
I was sent for your benefit. Okay. Are you ready for today's nugget?
Yeah, today's nugget.
Little wisdom nugget by John Eldridge. You know who he is?
John Eldridge, yes, I do know. He's an author. He's I had it somewhere. I noted it down. He's an author. That's what I got right now.
Find his famous book. Okay, check this out. This is a masculine. He must have written something on men or masculinity.
He's also a psychotherapist as well.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say he's also a psycho.
And lecturer on Christianity. He's known for his best-selling book, Wild at Heart.
Wild at Heart. That's it.
Huh. Men want to fight, an adventure to live.
Hold it. Men want a battle to fight.
Men in general, the masculine. Men want a battle to fight, an adventure to live, and adventure.
Okay.
An adventure to live, and a beauty to rescue.
Okay.
That is what is written in their hearts. That is what little boys play at. That is what men's movies are about. You just see it. It's undeniable. Interesting. Okay.
Do you
agree?
agree?
Go into masculine and
feminine
qualities.
Well, first, let me just say the reason why we're talking about this nugget today. It has to do with how we understand what we're reading in Bhagavatam, right? Which is, it's called Lila, right? Play. And Lord Nrisimhadev, he's a Lila avatar. So what's he doing? He's rescuing. He's fighting a battle. He's involved in a very dramatic adventure. He's rescuing his beloved in the form of little Prahlad. And you could look at that two ways. You could look at it and say, oh, these people wrote their mythology corresponding with the human experience. But the way that the sages tell us to understand this is that, no, this is the original play. This is the original adventure, right? Being displayed by the original person. And our playing around in this world is a reflection of that, right? We're actually copying that. And so I think there's something in what John Eldridge has written. I think, in our polarized society, that some people will kind of object to the way that he's writing, like, oh, men are this way, it means women are another way, they're a different way, and I think it just requires a little maturity, to approach this, because in a polarized society, one side is going to say, yes, this is exactly right, this is the way it is, everyone should snap into their gender roles 100%. If anyone nudges out of them, they're off.
They're off, they're broken, they're warped.
Yeah, they're practically evil. That's one ultra polarized way to see it. And the other ultra polarized way to see it is that any difference between men and women is a social construct. There's no truth in it. It's all been imposed, but, even that's like science denial. There's a fact that we have different hormones running through our bodies that affect our psychologies in different ways, When you were a boy,
they're general and they're, of course, they're general statements too. They're generalizations.
It's a generalization.
There's a masculine. Yeah. This is in Chinese medicine and Ayurveda. There's a masculine energy and a feminine energy, and we might click into one or the other. Also, depending on how we were raised or our social environment, that too. But at the same time, it's also woven into the DNA of what we are. There's some people, when I talk about UFC or boxing or things like that are just like, they're very attracted to it. And there's certain, even men are like, no, I hate these blood sports. I don't want to see this. We're talking about sort of like the Kshatriya archetype, the warrior archetype, which is also not for every masculine archetype as well, too. But the ones you described sound sort of like that. We sort of relish the warfare going on in the Mahabharata. We relish, saving Prahlad from tragedy.
Sure. Yeah. When you were a boy, did you play like this? I mean,
I played war, cops and robbers.
All those things. Yeah, exactly. Those are the exact same things we did.
I fought a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah, we'd have
that's all I played. All I played was cops and war.
We used to like go down into my friend's basement, put on as many like winter gloves as we could fit over our hands, and box with each other and just pound each other like crazy. or we play a game like the more PC name for this game was Kill the Carrier, right? Where you throw a football in the air. It doesn't matter how many guys you have. You could have like 3 guys, or it could be like 20 guys. You throw the football in the air, someone catches it, and then all the 20 try to tackle the one, right?
Yeah.
And you just like try to survive, But so yeah, we played like that. We wanted to fight, we wanted adventure, and it is within the psyche to rescue, a beloved one. Like that's kind of, it is what all the stories are about. When we read Krishna Lila, the word Lila is a really important one to understand, because again, if we look at it, it's like, oh, this crazy mythology, why is all this killing going on? It's you have to try to understand there's an esoteric very deep esoteric understanding that really brilliant philosophers and spiritualists they delve deeper and deeper and deeper into this, and they use terms that were borrowed from not entirely borrowed from, these words are in the ancient text, but they use constructs. They borrow constructs from ancient Sanskrit drama to help us understand what's going on in these texts. You know, there's Lila, which literally means play, right? And
Sure.
and play in all senses of the word, like a play, like a drama. Krishna is often
Right.
called an actor on the stage. You know, he's like, but it also means like to play, like child's play, or play like the ease in doing anything,
That's a
right?
nice way to put it too.
Yeah.
You know,
And
go on.
well, yeah, let me just lay out a couple terms and we could so Krishna's pastimes, they're called Lila. It's his play. You know, he's this all-knowing, omniscient, all-powerful being, but in his heart he desires adventures of love. That's his like one, you know, one desire. That's I don't know if to say fulfills him is the right word, but it's his desire. And so he plays and he allows himself to become fully absorbed in that play, fully absorbed in that adventure, and fully absorbed in what's called rasa, or the taste that's experienced through different loving relationships. So the setting here in this Lila, there's his beloved devotee, this young boy Prahlad. He's innocent, he's pure, he's deeply spiritually realized, even though he's just a boy. And he's being subject to the terror of his father Hiranyakasipu, who's this not only a powerful demonic force, but like the most powerful universal, you know, besides besides Vishnu, he is like the most powerful opponent. And it's described that God, wanting to taste that rasa, wanting to taste that adventure, wanting to taste ultimately that love, that's the point behind it all, ultimately wanting to taste that love, he loses himself in that adventure and plays. And here we're seeing him play the role of rescue, you know, battling Hiranyakashipu, rescuing his beloved devotee, and tasting the rasa, the love exchange between him and Prahlad. Are you there, Raghu? I saw that
I'm in there. You
Okay.
know, it's so interesting. It's 2024, and when it starts to pour rain, the internet goes
The thing
out.
goes out,
Come
right?
on, what's that about? But I don't know. I missed maybe some of your points. I wanted to make this point. Like, I got a new backhoe.
A what? Uh-oh, Raghunath's freezing up. All right. Anyway, while Raghunath is until he comes back, we may have trouble with him today. We can say, you know, I was mentioning that
Can you hear me? Are you
great.
frozen?
You were frozen, not me. He froze out right before you said you got a new Batco or something like that.
Backhoe. You know, for the tractor to dig holes.
I don't even know what a
It was,
backhoe is.
and anyway, my I was trying to get my daughter to play with it, and she wasn't so interested. But as soon as Rocco came home, he just started digging holes with the backhoe. He got so attracted to it, and just that was his whole focus and meditation. That being said, these archetypes of boys and girls, these are also material things as well. It's not us. We are a spiritual being. We're all feminine, actually. We're all feminine, and
Well,
there's one supreme masculine, and that gets us right back to the transcendental.
nope, Raghunath's freezing up again. It's going to be an interesting morning here, but I think I know where he was going. He was saying, you know, there's the sages say that in a sense, and again, this is, you know, it's sensitive territory to. You froze out, Raghunath.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You want to try again?
I don't even know what you caught, what you didn't catch.
We didn't catch hardly anything you're
Oh,
saying.
you're kidding.
Well, you said that Rocco was into the thing and Sachi was
I said
not.
Rocco was into digging holes with the backhoe, and I said, that being said, we're none of these things. We are actually all spiritual beings. Those are just our physical bodies. We're
Right.
not boys or girls. We're all feminine, actually. We're all feminine, and there's one divine
So
masculine.
what do you mean by that? We're all feminine.
meaning there is one supreme center, and that represents in the masculine form, in the original masculine, and then every jiva, every living soul is feminine, and and we take on a gender role according to this body for a short period of time, which is a reflection of the real masculine.
And actually, they're constantly, we're going back and forth as we take on new births, right?
It's completely
male one
fluid
birth,
with the
female
new
the next.
birth. With each birth, it's totally fluid.
That's how it's fluid.
That's how it's fluid.
Yeah, you take on a new body.
Yeah,
okay.
but if people get caught up in, I'm feeling feminine, I'm feeling masculine, it's just like a big whatever. Just get on with life. There's a real thing that we are underneath the costume. That's the spiritual soul. And if we're in the mood of service, just whatever gender you pick to be in this world, just pick it and move on with life, because you can get caught up in your head of what I feel like and etc. And we are actually a spirit soul. We're above that anyway. And people get hijacked and they get off on an exit. And let's just go to at what we are ultimately, because that's what's when we start to feed that identity. I'm a spirit soul. I'm part of something bigger. I'm born to give love. I'm born to serve. That is going to be the identity that actually satisfies the self.
There you go. And so when we get into these esoteric kind of side of bhakti, we spend most of our time speaking about the more exoteric kind of stuff, like the more conventional side of Vedanta, how to keep an even mind and, and so on. But there's this esoteric side to bhakti, which is all about this rasa, which is all about the particular loving moods and the varieties of loving moods and how they're exchanged, with God. And so again, these sages like Rupa Goswami, he would draw from this incredibly brilliant, sophisticated tradition of Sanskrit drama, and he would borrow their terminology and so on, and their constructs, how they categorized these different rasas. Like they say there are 12 varieties of rasas, right? So 12 different tastes or flavors in relationship. There's anger, wonder, conjugal love, comedy, chivalry, mercy, servitorship, friendship, horror, shock, neutrality, and parenthood, right? These are all different ways of relating, different experiences in relationship. And what dramatists do is they play with these and they try to increase the experience of these, right? Like there's like horror, for instance, right? That's a rasa, and people relish it in a certain way, right? Or
can you think of a Krishna conscious horror?
Well, I mean, you'll find it there in Krishna book, like right, like there's that moment.
By Kalia. That's horrible.
There's horror, yeah. Like Krishna's in the river, and he's being attacked by this
serpent,
this huge serpent, and it's got him
pretty horrible. Yeah.
He's all like caught up in the coils of this multi-headed serpent, and everybody that loves him, all the different varieties of people with different varieties, right, of love, are all standing on the bank of the river, and when he's caught up in those coils, they're experiencing horror. But it's all
imagine that we read these stories like they're just like very novel stories, but imagine being devoted to Krishna, a lover of Krishna, a parent of Krishna, and all of a sudden Krishna swims out in the Yamuna River to fight like a sea monster, so to speak.
Terrifying, horrific,
terrifying, and that's love. When you're terrified about the object of your meditation and it's a horrible experience, Krishna is going to get killed, and it brings out an emotion. And it's interesting because we're attracted to it in the material world, but what's a horror movie in the material world? It ends up making you riddled with anxiety, graded. I don't even
horror
watch
movies, yes, but there's an element of horror that may be in movies that aren't horror movies that may not have that effect. But you're right. I agree.
Right. If I watch a horror movie, that could ruin my life. It could ruin a part of my life.
Right.
So there's some movies that you don't forget forever. Just like a horrible movie. Jaws ruined a lot of my swimming experiences as a child.
Okay.
You know, haunted houses. There's so many like murderous movies that have stayed with me over time. But when you put horror, but it's a reflection of something real from the spiritual realm. When Krishna's in a horrible situation, it evokes love. Isn't that? It's so genius.
Well, you know, that's how a following in the wake of Krishna Lila. This is how the Bhaktas would explain it, right? Following in the wake of Krishna Lila, the dramatist of this world compose drama using these elements in a similar way, right? Because like you can bring in an element of horror into a drama or into a film script in order for it to create a tension that gets released, and when it's released, the love that's being expressed is intensified, right? And so that's what happens when Krishna's he's trapped up in the coils of this snake, and you know his friends who have a fraternal love for him, fraternal rasa, they're there. The parents are there. They have the parental rasa, parental type of love, and all the girlfriends are there. They all have a romantic love for him. They're all experiencing horror. And then when he slips out of the grasp of that serpent, and he climbs up onto its heads, and he begins to dance, right? And he's doing this dance.
Am I frozen or am I good?
You're good.
Am I good? Okay. It's so genius, this philosophy, how everything here is a reflection. Our love affairs are a reflection of our love with God. You know,
yes.
And this horror thing, everyone's posting their horror movies on even something like horror, like why does it exist? It's a reflection of deep love of God. My mother, my Catholic mother said, never, ever see The Exorcist. Ishri Sundari put this on the board, and I never did until I was 28, until I moved out of the ashram. I'm like, I'm 28 years old. I've been a devotee for years. I can watch The Exorcist. Big mistake. If you've never seen The Exorcist, never see it. There's no good that can come from it. Find the horror in Krishna book and let that evoke love in your heart through horror of Krishna being attacked by a serpent.
Yeah. And you know, so again, the point was that when he slipped out of those coils, and when he got up on the top of the heads of that serpent, and then he began this dance, and the dance was simultaneously beating down the serpent with every step, but it was also like a most beautiful artistic dance. And everybody that's on the side, the feeling of love in their specific rasa becomes heightened, right? Like the boys, their love for Krishna is like, he's our boy, right? Like that friendship love, right? And that becomes heightened. No one else can do what Krishna's doing. Just look at him, you know, he's the best. The girls are like, just like with their romantic feelings, they're intensified. Like, there's nothing this boy can do. He's just captivated me in every way, you know. So that's how when we say that Krishna's Lila is like, it's play, it's like a drama, it's all orchestrated. Even Krishna himself forgets who he is, forgets his role as maintainer of the universes, you know, Jagannatha and all of that, you know, the Lord of the universe, or as Paramatma, as the soul of the universe. No, he's Krishna, and these are his friends, and these are his lovers, and these are his parents. And he becomes, just as children, we see children become completely absorbed in their play. So Krishna, even more so, becomes completely absorbed in the rasa, and the horror, or it's all designed to heighten the experience of rasa, the experience of love, which is the very point to our existence. And you know, when you read books about like how to write a script, they all are going to tell you more or less the same thing, that you have your protagonist, right? And you just have to give him a problem, give him a struggle, give him some obstacle that he has to overcome. And then you have to give him more.
They purchased a house. Now there's a problem. There's a ghost in the house.
There's a ghost.
People were murdered in the house. The house is possessed.
You have to increase it. The
house is speaking to me and telling me to get out.
Yeah. That's essentially the script of practically every film. Is like there's a problem for the protagonist, and then the writer has to make it worse and worse and worse and worse. And then when they get out of it, there's a rasa, an experience, and a heightened rasa that comes through that. And so when we read about Nrisimhadeva, oh, man, lion, myth, the whole thing is childish. It's not childish. You might say, I don't have faith that it's actually happened, but an objective person that actually examines it, they'll see that this is not, that you can't say it's like silly or childish. It's very sophisticated what's being presented here. There's a great depth, and it's been analyzed by brilliant thinkers in great depth. So we'll try to do a little bit with it as we read.
Now my brain is completely hijacked on traumatizing movies. Bring it back, Raghu. Bring it back. Not Poltergeist, but the Poltergeist was bad. But Amityville Horror. The problem I don't like about Amityville Horror is these are real things. This isn't just a movie. These are real life occurrences of haunted places, and that's scary. And it could happen to you. You could move into some haunted apartment. You know how many people have been bludgeoned in New York City, Kostuba, in apartments, and then they clean it up, and then you're moving in, and you think you got a good deal?
Do a little kirtan, and you move on, Raghunath. And speaking of moving on.
Good luck. Good luck. Good luck.
Speaking of moving on.
Oh, no.
Why don't we chant the mantras, right? I think.
So Krishna says Amityville Horror was in his hometown. Jesus. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva devim saraswatim vyasam tatojayam madhirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is every means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all those troubles from the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Timurandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Unmilatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Why didn't the Amityville Horror things happen like in Croatia, in Dubrovnik, right, or in Split? Why is it always in America that we get all the haunted houses? We get all these nightmarish things. Huh? Kostuba?
I really don't know, Raghunath.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay. Thereafter.
What text are we on?
We're in reading from Canto 7, Chapter 8, Text 25.
Text 25.
Text 25. Remember? Okay. Thereafter, the great
did we read
demon,
24? I'm not sure if we did.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I think we have to read 24.
Just as a small insect falls forcibly into a fire, right? That happens. Yeah. And the insignificant creature becomes invisible. When Hiranyakasipu attacked the Lord, who was full of effulgence, Hiranyakasipu became invisible. Yeah, we read this yesterday. This is not at all astonishing, for the Lord is always situated in pure goodness. Formerly, during creation, he entered the dark universe and illuminated it by his spiritual effulgence.
Okay. So just to catch up, we have a moment of, well, certainly anger is being expressed, right? This is the Nrisimhadeva burst out of this, Lord Vishnu in this ferocious form, burst out of the pillar and is manifesting anger on the highest cosmic level, right?
Right.
He's got the perfect form for it. He's manifested the perfect form, this half man, half lion form. And, there's been some horror, this is following a moment of horror where a hugely powerful demoniac figure was threatening to slice off the head of his son. And so now he's busted out and he's manifesting this anger, this transcendental emotion, this deeply, but it's the anger of love. And now he's going to battle.
Okay, this is 25. Thereafter, the great demon Hiranyakasipu, who was extremely angry, swiftly attacked Nrisimhadeva with his club and began to beat him. Lord Nrisimhadeva, however, captured the great demon along with his club, just as Garuda might capture a snake. This happens. We get our ego attacked. Now, if you're a demon, you really dig your heels in. Your ego is yourself. I found that it's become much better as a devotee that when people go after me, I start to reflect on why they're going after me. And sometimes I was like, well, they got a point there. Sometimes I'm arrogant. Sometimes I'm self-centered. Sometimes I'm narcissistic. You know, in material consciousness, we're always trying to defend our ego. There's so many stories about great souls who are just saying, yeah, maybe. Or they just said, you know what? You can talk whatever you want. I'm okay with it. The great souls never let it bother them. They're like aloof to public opinion. They can be praised or they can be spit upon. They're completely okay with it. You there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
But I'm just wondering, why are you saying that? What does that connect
I'm saying
to?
that because Hiranyakasipu is losing his mind here because he's being challenged by Prahlad, or he's being challenged by everybody at this point, Prahlad and Nrisimhadeva, and therefore that's why anger arises. How dare you?
Okay.
Oh, Yudhisthira, oh great son of Bharat, when Lord Nrisimhadeva gave Hiranyakasipu a chance to slip from his hand, just as Garuda sometimes plays with a snake and let it slip from his mouth, the demigods who lost their abodes and who were hiding behind the clouds for fear of the demon did not consider that incident very good. Indeed, they were perturbed. Okay. So the play goes on.
Yeah, it would have, the full Rasa couldn't have been experienced fully if he too quickly killed Hiranyakasipu. So he's letting him go, and he's continuing the play, and he's giving everyone else a chance to experience, to watch this wonder.
And Krishna says he doesn't just appear to kill demons. He appears to give pleasure to the devotees. And oftentimes people will ask this question, well, if he's God, why doesn't he just like wipe them all out?
Yeah.
Because the devotees actually relish. And part of the relishing is fear. Oh my God, this is going to happen. It's to build up that heightened attachment to the Lord. And that's what's going on right now. The demigods are freaking out. This doesn't look good. Don't worry, it's going to work out good. We know how this ends. Krishna, God wins.
That's a great point. It's almost like an adult walking up to children and just saying, well, why are you still playing cops and robbers? Why don't you just put the robber in the jail and you can be done with this? No, we're playing. We're enjoying the play.
When Hiranyakasipu was freed from the hands of Nrisimhadeva, he falsely thought that the Lord was afraid of his prowess. Therefore, after taking a little rest from the fight, he took up his sword and shield and again attacked the Lord with great force. Making a loud shrill sound of laughter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, who's extremely strong and powerful, captured Hiranyakasipu, who was protecting himself with a sword and shield, leaving no gaps open. With the speed of a hawk. Ever see a hawk? Stuba attack something?
I've definitely seen hawks. I don't know if I've ever seen an attack except in the...
I was riding my bike down there last year down this dirt road. I saw a hawk just whoom, come out of nowhere and just pick up a squirrel and fly away with a squirrel. Super quick. So like a hawk, Lord Narayan, who's extremely strong and powerful, captured Hiranyakasipu, who is protecting himself with a sword and shield, leaving no gaps. With the speed of a hawk, Hiranyakasipu moves sometimes in the sky and sometimes on the earth, his eyes closed because of fear of Nrisimhadeva's laughter. I was teaching yoga on the grass once at some client's house, and he had chickens just roaming around. Okay. I saw a hawk come down and lift a hen in the sky. And I had to go, hey! And the hawk dropped the chicken.
No,
like 12, 15 feet up. It lived. But it was
traumatized for the rest of its life.
It was traumatized. It had to work out some issues, some fear of abandonment by the rooster. As a snake captures a mouse, or Garuda captures a very venomous snake, Lord Nrisimhadeva captured Hiranyakasipu, who could not be pierced even by the thunderbolt of King Indra, right? There's no way to beat this guy at this point. Even the Devas were afraid of him. As Hiranyakasipu moved his limbs here There and all around, very much afflicted at being captured, Lord Nrisimhadeva placed the demon on his lap, right? It's not the earth and it's not the sky.
There's
One of the
another one of the
benedictions Brahma
loopholes.
got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He couldn't be killed on earth. He couldn't be killed in the sky. Okay, we put him on his lap. It's neither earth nor sky.
So clever. Supporting him with his thighs. And the doorway, and he has thighs because he's half man. He's Nara Hari. He's man and he's the Lord. That's the half man, half lion. And the doorway of the assembly hall. So he's in the doorway of the assembly hall. He's not inside. He's not outside. He's sort of on the
Another
porch.
loophole. Yeah.
Another loophole.
I don't want to be able to kill indoors or outdoors.
Right. And the Lord very easily tore the demon to pieces with the nails of his hands. Gory scene. Gory scene. Have you ever seen a cat rip the head off a mouse? Or
right. You seem to seek these things out.
Well, they're gory, but it also makes you cheer. And also he gets full. People think, well, this is horrible. Why are we celebrating the death of anybody? Guess what? Everybody gets liberated. You get killed by Lord Vishnu, you're liberated. It's a good thing.
The commentators speak about this specifically, and they say that because remember, if we go back to the third canto, who is Hiranyakasipu?
Either Jai or Vijay.
Yeah, he's one of these two gatekeepers of Vaikuntha who were, because they didn't allow the four Kumars into the spiritual realm, into Vaikuntha, they were cursed to take birth three times as demons. And multi-purposes are being played here, right? In one sense, okay, they're paying the price for their mistreatment of these sages, the four Kumars. But it's also Krishna's, that when we read that nugget, it said like, this is what he actually said. He's talking about this spirit to battle, an adventure. And he says that this is, he says, you see it. It's what he said. What did he say? It's written in their hearts, right? It's written in their hearts, like it's inside us. And the way the sages explain all of this Lila in our existence is they're saying that ourselves being minute fragments of Krishna's energy, as he has this in him, the desire to battle, we also have that desire in us to battle. You know, it plays out in our lives. And so Krishna, he has that desire, but he's not going to battle anyone. He actually only has this kind of intimate connection with his own devotees. So Jai and Vijay, who are his devotees, come and they play the role in the drama of being these fearsome demons. Krishna becomes completely lost in that drama, forgets that I'm all powerful, fights with them. And so that's playing out here. That purpose is being played out here. But also, as we're reading this, I'm seeing, like he's fully Lord Nrisimhadeva is it's Vishnu taking this form, as you were saying, to bring pleasure to Prahlad. Prahlad is sitting there like, oh, this is so wonderful. My Lord is manifested just to save me. He's feeling that Rasa. And at the same time, Nrisimhadeva is carefully protecting the word of his devotee, Lord Brahma, who gave all those benedictions. Okay, I grant you the benediction, you can't be killed indoor or outdoor. I grant you the benediction that you can't be killed by man or beast. I grant you the benediction that you can't be killed at day or night. Indoors or outdoors. He even though it was like such a dramatic scene, he still carefully protected the word of Brahma by killing him as man beast, killing him not indoors or outdoors, killing him on his lap instead of the sky or the earth. He did it all. So he's doing many things at once.
Everything happened. So many things are happening at once, and it's even a charming little story. It's like almost like a charming child story with very, very, incredible depth to it as well.
And in one sense, the big thing that's happening is this is the moment that all the Devas have been hoping for and praying for, that they've been oppressed and harassed, and the social order of the universe has been disrupted by this horrible, undefeatable demon. And they know the only solution is Vishnu can take care of it, because we can't take care of it. Mm-hmm. But their devotion is not like Prahlad's devotion. It's not as powerful. It's not as selfless. It's not as pure. It's not as strong. So it wasn't. So Vishnu appeared, in this most adbhuta, right? This most wonderful form for Prahlad specifically, but at the same time he carried out the purpose of satisfying the Devas as well.
It's time.
Is it?
Ish.
We got time.
No. Want to do another one? It's 7:55.
Yeah, hit it. Text 30.
All right. I like when you guys are like, no, let's keep going. Lord Nrisimhadeva's mouth and mane were sprinkled with drops of blood, and his fierce eyes, full of anger, were impossible to look at. Licking the edge of his mouth with his tongue, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nrisimhadeva, decorated with the garland of intestines taken from Hiranyakasipu's abdomen, resembled a lion that has just killed an elephant.
Talk about horror, right?
That's horrible. I've seen that. I've seen that. You can just Google that. YouTube search that. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who had many, many arms, first uprooted Hiranyakasipu's heart. Okay, getting gorier.
Ripped his heart out.
And then threw him aside and turned towards the demon soldiers. These soldiers had come in thousands to fight with him, and with raised weapons, and were very faithful followers of Hiranyakasipu. But Lord Nrisimhadeva killed them all with merely the ends of his nails.
So picture this, like you're a Deva and you're watching this. You've been terrified by this horrible tyrant, demoniac tyrant. He's seen impenetrable, impossible to kill. He's gotten all these benedictions from Brahma. Nobody can kill him.
For a long time, he's been
for a very long time.
And the head of all the demigods gave the power to him. Yeah. It's like, and you've been suffering year after year to the point where your leaders are now enslaved by him.
You may feel doubtful that you're ever going to be free of his oppression.
And you think, what's it all about? Why am I here in the first place? Is there no God? Is there no God in control?
And then it seems like he's been killed. But so just to erase any doubt, you know it when he reaches and pulls out that heart and just throws it away. It's like, it's such a dramatic scene. No one but Krishna, can create such a dramatic, you see that heart go out, you're like, he's done.
So, Stu, do you think that all the tragedies we're facing in this world, or we're aware of in this world, do you think, what's your opinion? Do you think like we're getting to are we like hoping for some like Lord Nrisimhadeva to appear and just like, this is wipe out the crazy mentality of this world? What do you think this is all a drama that we're living in right now in order for the Lord to appear?
Well, in a sense, it is a drama. In one sense, it is. There are many metaphors that could be used. In one sense, it's a prison. In one sense, it's a playground. In one sense, it's a drama. All of these are valid ways of seeing this world according to these sacred texts. But in one sense, it's unreal, right? In one sense, it's a virtual reality. But the devotees understand that it's here for our reformation, that we are out of touch with who we are. We're trying to play as if we were that central figure. As Krishna, what's being manifest here is Krishna is the all-powerful, the all-beautiful, the all-attractive. And one way he is that is in this very special form of Nrisimha, of man-lion. Our problem is, rather than accepting the role of Prahlad, we want the role of Nrisimhadeva, right? We want to be the central figure in the drama. We don't have the confidence or the faith that actually it's as exciting and enjoyable and wonderful and satisfying and as deep in every way to be the devotee rather than the center of devotion. To hold love in your heart, you know, in that way, and be loved in that way. And so we're trying to take that role here. And the world is, according to our karma, it's saying like, okay, Krishna's saying, if you want that, you can have that. I'll give it to you. And he gives us a world in which we play. But he also integrates elements into that world so that we'll be reformed and kind of recognize our true, be able to reawaken the reality of our perfect situation in the spiritual realm. And so we play it, and then this law of karma is there that, you know, when we act out of harmony with our true nature, we feel some pain. We experience some of our own horror, you know, and
as you were speaking, I was thinking, yeah, there are some tragedies in the world, and there's some horrible things in this world, and there's some hate in this world, but we're also here to work on our own personal tragedies, hate, and horror going on with our own consciousness.
They're all there, to help us reform. You know, if we, I was thinking this the other day, because there are, you know, in our our world and our media is bringing to our attention so many tragic situations, so many practically hopeless, painful, horrific, very deeply sad things that we experience in this world. But I also thought, and the feeling that you get when you think about them or experience them is just how dark this world can be.
It gets really dark.
But if it wasn't for that, we would hopelessly keep trying to enjoy it rather than transcend it, you know. And by saying that, I'm not saying that we should just escape it and not address the issues in this world. I'm not saying that. But I'm talking about something else, and we just need to have the maturity to separate these. If it wasn't for that, we would likely never develop the determination or the ability to let go of this world and seek something higher.
A lot of our growth. I mean, you hit it. A lot of our growth comes from our pain, from our tragedy, from our loss, from our betrayal, from our heartbreak. That's where we grow. We generally don't grow when everything is running smooth.
No, you keep trying to enjoy it. You keep trying to adjust it. You keep trying to relish it. Yeah.
Young Miss Mara, any takeaways today?
Yeah, I got a lot of good stuff.
Lots of good stuff.
We're spirit souls above our gender designation.
We are. I wish Kostuba was here just to taste this strawberry shortcake.
You think you'd like it?
I think you would love it.
Oh. What about some pineapple upside down cake?
Ooh.
I don't like that.
I don't think I've ever made a pineapple upside down cake.
They're not good.
It's a classic.
Krishna's horror won't traumatize. It evokes love.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not The Exorcist. Don't watch The Exorcist. Can that be a takeaway?
Sure.
Okay.
Stop defending yourself and reflect why others may attack you.
Why are others attacking me?
Watch the play unfold and relish the Lila.
There we go.
Ooh.
Great souls never take things personally.
Take it personally.
Nrisimhadeva respects the words of Brahma and finds the loopholes.
Yep.
That's right.
It's more fulfilling to be the devotee of God instead of God.
Very interesting.
Very interesting, huh?
Otherwise, why would God take that role himself as Sri Chaitanya?
Reawaken our true nature and harmonize.
Reawaken. Good name for a band, straight edge band. Reawaken. XX.
The darkness urges us to transform and transcend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Horror for love's sake, not horror's sake.
Right.
Horror. Horoscope. A horoscope. Ugh!
Don't watch The Exorcist and
Ever.
And
do a little kirtan and move on.
there you
Do a
go.
little kirtan and move on. And when I say move on, I mean move out. Move out of that house. Don't even go there.
I think I've only seen really one horror movie in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what's also bad? Those psychological.
I guess you don't care about it.
All right, which one is it? I'm sorry. What was your horror movie?
Cape Fear.
Oh, that was freaking. Were the guys underneath the truck?
Yeah.
Oh, God. You can't watch these things. You can't put them in your consciousness.
You see, that's the thing about the horror movie is the villain keeps coming back. Like you think he's gone and he's back. They play with that element a lot, right?
And a lot of times it just gives sick people creepy ideas to act them out in the regular world. Locking people in wells in your house or basements or dungeons. I would never think of that.
Raghunath,
Now I
don't
think
go
we
so
can
dark.
do that. It's an option.
That's been going on forever, Raghunath. That's there in Krishna book.
Yeah, it is. But still, must we like indulge in it, write movies about it, relish it? Relish this stuff. Anyway, let's keep it high now. Oh, Stephanie Berman says I fainted in Cape Fear. I had to be carried out of the movie theater. And Linda says that's why Raghu keeps axes all around his house. It's true.
I know that's a good thing.
You need weapons in a house because people could sneak in anywhere. Okay. That's why
I invited everyone into the house.
What?
They're sneaking in.
Yeah, whoever's sneaking into the house, they're gonna.
You'd be like, you want some strawberry shortcake? It's really good.
you feed them you win their hearts over with love.
But when Krishna ripped out his heart, you just knew he wasn't coming back. You know?
Yeah, that's a good sign. Pull him out of his heart. That usually ends it. So everybody else put up their haunted. No, hauntings happen in other countries as well.
Yeah, come on,
Croatian
Transylvania.
hauntings
Give me
are
a break.
real. Japanese hauntings, they say you can get a deal on an apartment. There's been tragedy in there. If you're thinking about moving to Japan. Yeah, what do you do with that? Krishna, I don't want to think about this. Hare Krishna.
You do a little yoga, Raghunath. You do a little mantra.
Hi, I'm going to go chant Ganga
Kirtan.
Stotram right now to get this out of me. I'm going to go bathe in the Ganga.